Hello, everybody. Greetings. Greetings, everybody.
Hey, Patrick.
Hello,
Hey,
and
Patrick.
welcome to the training call. This is the Super Creator Productivity System training call, and it's on how to be focused, in flow, and productive in these times, or I would say really in any times. And so, wow, great to see so many beautiful faces here and familiar faces. I'm going to ask if you can, just to start out with, to mute yourselves, since that setting didn't seem to be automatically on. So thank you for that. So my name is Patrick Dominguez, and I created this call because I just know the world needs you, your coaching, your healing, your acumen, your gifts more now than ever. And I believe that one of the best ways you can serve in the world right now is by harnessing your energy, being in flow, being productive, and being a powerful creator who makes things better for yourself and for other people in the world. And so my intention today is to teach you my system for being focused, in flow, and productive, so you can be a powerful creator who creates what it is that you want in your life right now. And I want to support you in having the energy, the support, the environment for you to be able to create an amazing life right now. And so obviously we live in a time where there's a lot of change, a lot of disruption. There's massive economic upheaval, sickness, death, and so forth. And a lot for us to contend with right now. And so first I just want to check in, who is feeling, the impact of these times right now? Just go ahead and put a 1 in the chat right now, or raise your hand. I see your hands too. And so yeah, just put a 1 in the chat if you're feeling the impact of these times. And should be pretty much everybody, right? And I'm right there with you. I've been worried about drops in income. I've been missing contact with friends and family. I miss going to the gym. There's a lot of things I feel I'm missing out on in these times. And so it's challenging times, but we're all here together because I think this is our opportunity to step up, to be of service, right? To continue to grow your business and to serve people. And so let me know if that's your mindset, that, despite everything going on, like this is the time where you want to be out there leading, serving, contributing, and hopefully, having your business continue to thrive and have opportunities in this time. And so just type a 2 in the chat if you're on the same page there, if you're on the same wavelength, that yes, despite everything going on, you want to make the most of things right now, and you want to make the most of things in your business as well. Okay, cool. A lot of like-minded people here, love it. And so I just would like to welcome a lot of the people that I'm seeing here. So Scott, good to see you again. I saw you on the call last week. Leonard, always a pleasure to see you. Carrie, we were chatting on Facebook earlier. David, Pamela, Laurent, wow, so many brilliant people here. Katie, Yulia, Eric, my 2 housemates in Hawaii, Elena and Bree. Allison, Lou, one of the men of my men's circle, great to see you. Bara, great to see you here on the call too. So many beautiful people here. Alicia, I'm loving your background there. Shar, I've been wondering how you're doing. Hannah, hey, so great to see you. I haven't seen you since we were together in Croatia last summer. Brad, Yelena, Simona, Wendell, hey, long time no see. Wow, I'm just feeling like this is such a love fest already. Just so many lovely people here, so many people I'm grateful to be seeing. It's funny, there's some people on this call I haven't seen for quite a while too. Lauren, haven't seen you since we were in NLP Master Practitioner last year. So yes, kisses to you too. Hey Dina, last time I saw you was at a party when we were able to party and be in person together. So it's just so fun to see people from so many different walks of life. Christina, good to see you. Hollis, wow, long time. Jenny, Ramona, other people popping in here. So yeah, so great that so many people are coming together for this topic here. And so let me just see here. Yeah, so before we proceed, I just wanted to introduce myself for any people here who may not know me and my background. So For the last 10 years, I co-ran and was a co-founder of a business called The Big Shift, a business coaching business that I founded with Bill Barron. And 2 years ago, we had the opportunity to sell our business and merge it with a larger business. Uh, but during the 10 years of running The Big Shift, we coached and trained thousands of business owners around the planet, people in North America, Europe, South America, and beyond. And during that time, I had an opportunity to work with so many entrepreneurs one-on-one and in groups. And one of the things I saw was it's really difficult, especially if you're self-employed or you're a solo entrepreneur, to stay focused. And personally, before I became a coach, I worked in the corporate world and I worked with teams. I had a boss, and it's just a lot easier to stay focused when you have a boss kind of looking over you. You have teams who are depending on you for deliverables and doing your part of the project. And it's just a really different thing when you're working for yourself. And so I just felt inspired because I've been talking to so many friends and clients and men in the men's circle I belong to and others who have just been telling me it's just been so hard to stay productive, focused, and in flow in a kind of a positive state during these times. And so I just thought, why don't I just put a call together here and just teach people the systems that I taught so many of my clients over the last 5 years. And so that's what this is all about. And so I also want to mention, while I'm just talking about myself, is I've also shifted to doing just a lot more inner work with people as well. And so over the last 8 years, I've been studying all sorts of healing modalities, some of the most powerful healing modalities on the planet. And, you know, I'm so committed to helping people with their inner healing and their inner work, as well as getting into action as positive creators that I've created a whole new business and a whole new website for that. So if you're not familiar with my latest work, I'd love for you to check it out. My website's innerfreedomprocess.com, and I'm just going to post that link in the chat for you guys to look at after this call, because we want to obviously stay focused on the topic at hand. But I'd love for you to check out my work after this call. Someone in the chat had a helpful suggestion to mute everybody. So let me just do that real quick here. So, okay, so just to have some quiet on the line here, I just muted everybody. Thanks for that suggestion. I will be answering some questions as we go in the chat too. So someone asked, am I recording this? Yes, I'm recording this. Should we take notes? Yes, I highly recommend that you have a journal or something on your computer open to take notes on. And then I encourage you to close windows, put your phone away. You know, I always put my phone far away when I'm on calls like this. So anything you can do to eliminate distractions right now would obviously really fit the theme of this call, which is being in flow and focused and ready to be productive and create powerfully in this world. So yeah, I'd like to just, so we have a chance to get to know each other, I'd like to encourage people to just type in the chat, where are you in the world? Because we have people from all over the world here and all over the North America. And maybe just a quick sentence on what you do. So we have a sense of who you are and what you do. Oh, Shar, I see you're in Maui. That's so funny. I'm on the Big Island right now. So yeah, I can feel your vibrations just from the next island over here. So great. Yeah, I wish we were on the same island so we could, you know, socially distance together as it were these days. Great to see you here, Adam. Adam's a financial coach from Oakland, CA, where I live. Good to have you here. David Schlessel, yoga teacher and energetic healer and so much more. Simona, great to see you here. Yes, relationship coach and lots of other magic I know about you. Yeah, it's great to see a bunch of my clients here on the line as well. Wow, look at all the coaches and healers and world changers we have on this line right now. Yeah, David, I know you do amazing work around investments, so good to have you here. All right, wow, look at all the powerful change agents we have here. So yes, let's get these powerful change agents, you know, doing focused, productive work in flow today. So yes, thank you everybody for sharing. Lots of talent here. Let's just pool this talent together and create some world change in the world. So before we get into the productivity system, and we're going to be spending the majority of our call together just getting into the productivity system that I've been developing over the last several years, and what are like the 3 core elements of the productivity system. But first, I just want to check in with people and just kind of where you are now. Okay, so if you have a journal or something to write on, I just want to like ground us in kind of like the situation we're in now and we're experiencing now. Hey, Shock, good to see you on the call here. So first, I'd like to just have us just ground and connect to what is going on for you in your life. And so with your journal or your writing, whatever you have to write on, just go ahead and take a note on what loss have you experienced as a result of this coronavirus pandemic? What losses, what are you missing out on? What's just not the same that you kind of wish were the same? Let's just take a moment to just connect with kind of, you know, the situation we're in now. Because I don't want to gloss over where we are now, okay? So just take a moment, jot down. Do you have a sense of loss in any way around the current situation? And then feel free to also jot down, what are a few of your biggest worries or fears as relates to your business or your career or your financial situation right now? Let's just go ahead and surface kind of what's there underneath the surface, or it might just be right there on the surface for you right now. What are 3 of your biggest worries or fears or sources of stress related to the current situation in your business or your career or your finances right now? Let's just get present to how things are for us right now in this realm. And then if there's anything you care to share, it's not required, but if anything from what you've just journaled on, if you care to share into the chat, just so we can all, you know, share kind of the experience of what it's like to be a human being and a business owner in these times right now with each other. Feel free to type something in the chat if you feel so called. Christina wrote, lost freedom to be with extended family, financially doing fine, no fears right now. Thank you. Hollis is questioning. Yes, this is a good time for questioning and turning within, right? And listening for what's in. Cheryl, missing friends, dancing, people being friendly in the street. I know, right? Isn't it so strange when you encounter people in public now and, you know, the fear you can see is palpable on people's faces oftentimes. David, easily distracted at home. I used to go out to Starbucks and other non-home outlets to be focused and work. Yeah, totally, David. I used to go to a co-working space near my house in Oakland, and there was a couple of cafes where I just felt super productive. And so I like to change up my environment. So it's been more difficult to do that for sure. Eric, touch. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, you know, for those of you who don't know, I was in Hawaii a month ago for a 9-day energy training and coaching program. And at the end of the program, I just thought, you know, why go back home to Oakland to shelter at home by myself? And so I had the good fortune to have 2 other people in the course who said, yeah, let's all stay together. So I'm staying in this beautiful Airbnb on the big island of Hawaii with 2 other healers and just amazing agents of change and transformation. So I feel so grateful to have a couple of other people in the house that I get to, share connection and hugs, and, we make dinner together every night, and just I'm grateful to have been able to create an environment uh, that sustains me. So what I'd like for you to do is just staying connected with what you're feeling now. I'd like to just do just a short little activity to just help us be in a state of presence and mindfulness and connection to, what we're experiencing right now. So I'd like to ask you now to just go ahead and just set down anything you're writing on. And I'm going to ask you to get into a space where you can just close your eyes and just sit back in your chair or whatever furniture you're on right now. And we're going to do a little closed eye process here. So go ahead and just take a moment and get comfortable, sit back, relax, adjust yourself however's needed here. We're just going to do a short little process to just be in a space of mindfulness, awareness, and some releasing around where things are now. So we can, in a sense, get grounded and anchored with where things are now. So just go ahead and just let your body relax down into the chair or the couch or whatever furniture you're on now. Just let your body sink down into the furniture, and just let your weight be fully supported by the furniture you're on. That's right. Very good. I can see a lot of you just sinking down and relaxing. And in this moment, just let yourself be supported by the chair or the furniture on. Let your legs sink down into it. Let your behind and your backside sink down. Let your back lean or relax against whatever furniture you're on. Just let yourself be fully supported. Very good. And now we're going to take 3 deep breaths together. We're going to take an inhale, and then we're going to take an exhale that's twice as long, approximately, as the inhale with a sound. So inhale and exhale out. Inhale and exhale with a sound or an ah. Inhale in and exhale out with a sound. Very good. And with your eyes closed, if that's okay for you to do so, just imagine you're on a ship and you're the captain of that ship. And when there are stormy times, you don't need to go make the storm go away. In fact, it's very difficult to do that. But what you can do is drop an anchor. And so just imagine now, you're just dropping an anchor from your ship. Just let that anchor drop down. The heavy grounding weight of the anchor drop down and just hit bottom. And just feel yourself being anchored, come what may, to keep you steady until the storm passes. Just let yourself feel weight. Feel all your weight sinking into your furniture, feeling weighted and grounded. And now just take a moment and just notice, what are you feeling in your body right now? Take a moment to scan your body from head to toe and just notice what's there. And it's okay, whatever's there is fine. Okay, good. Okay, and when you're ready, just come on back. And just go ahead and feel free to post in the chat a word, how you're feeling right now, or a few words. Whatever you're present to, whatever you're feeling present to right now is perfectly fine. Scott's posting calm. Pamela, peace. That's great to hear, Pamela. MPE is relaxed. Carrie, calm. Jasmine, good to see you here. Grounded. Anubhav, nice to see you here. Anxiety, thank you. That's totally fine. Wendell, relaxed and focused. Molly, nice to see you here. Well, it's been a while. Relaxed. Bara, great. Bit more dropped in. So good. Okay. And so, David, tired. Yeah, you've been working a lot, David. You have a lot going on. Thank you for being here, making this time. Randall, honored. I'm honored to have you here, Randall. Thank you, everybody. So we're going to go. I just wanted to just give us a chance to be with what's so and to ground a little bit, and just be present and mindful. And in a moment here, we're going to transition into talking about the productivity system. But feel free to type in the chat anything you need to say or express to be present and just here and ready to talk about this topic of being in flow and productive and so forth. And first, though, I'd like for you to think about, and feel free to write down in your journal, what's your big why right now? What is your big why for being in a state of flow, in a state of focus, in a state of productivity, in a state of being able to be a creator in your life and a creator for others? What's your big why for that? Go ahead and write that down, and when you have it, feel free to post that in the chat as well. Sure, to have fun in life. Yes, fun in life is one of my major values, and I believe we can still absolutely experience fun and joy during this time, right? We don't have to wait for it all to recover in the past, right? Absolutely. Leonard, celebrate life. Yes, I would expect no less from you, Leonard. Christina, to be service to others. Beautiful. David, support, make a difference and support my family. Totally. Dan, don't have one. I can't fully read that, but thank you for chiming in. Cheryl, sense of purpose and competency. Love that. Simona, freedom. Yes. Thelma, fully experience life in the body. So there's a lot of good reasons for us to be in that state of focus and flow now. So let's, if you guys are ready, let's go ahead and dive into the productivity system for being a super creator during these times, and to be in a state of flow, being able to create for yourself and for others. Yes, thank you for everything. Everyone's still continuing to write in the chat. If you haven't seen what people are typing in the chat, feel free to have a look at that, just to get a feel of like the collective energy that we're in together here. Okay, so the three core elements of the productivity system I want to share with you guys, and I'm just going to actually share my screen for a sec, just so you can get a little bit of a visual with that as well. Hang on a second here. Let me see here. I'm going to share my screen for a little bit here. I'm going to go back and forth between sharing my screen and just kind of being with the group. So I'm going to be sharing the Super Creator Productivity System for how to be productive, energized, and flow in this time, so you can be a powerful creator who creates, lives, leads, and thrives in business and in all areas of your life, okay? And so, as I mentioned at the beginning of the call, you know, I understand that this is a time for us as business owners, coaches, and healers, and people with other gifts to stand up, be of service, and make an impact. for ourselves and for our clients and for people in the world. And, there's a lot of opportunities uh, for our businesses right now. I'm not going to really cover these because I covered these in a call last week. Uh, but, we're in a time where people have more time available. There's some urgent problems people are wanting to solve. And there's a lot of people who actually have money, but they have fewer things to spend it on right now. So there's actually some opportunities. And, what I want to do is actually just email you guys these slides so you can look at some of this material on your own. But basically, I want to talk about first, what is productivity? I want to ask you guys, to just take a moment and journal, what does productivity mean to you? And feel free to type in the chat, what is productivity anyway? Productivity in some circles isn't that sexy of a word. So what's sexy about productivity to you? Go ahead and write that in your journals or write in the chat. Like, what's the sexiest thing about being productive? Okay, I see some chats coming up here. Yes, David, progress. Yes, Alicia, feeling accomplished. Not about getting out of my head, right? Fruitful, affluent, and generous. Yes, Jasmine, I know you're a very generous soul. Randall, moving forward. Yes. Sure, getting things done quickly so I can go back to play. I'm right there with you. Yes, Cheryl, sense of peace. Beautiful. Yeah, Scott, it's being powerful. Yes, accomplished, discipline. Yes. So I love these definitions of productivity. I may have to update my slides with some of these things you guys are, living life on your terms where possible. Okay. So here's what I put down as my definition of productivity: taking focused action and effective action, being in flow, so you're making progress towards goals and dreams that matter, right? So productivity is all about making progress, and a few of you type making progress in the chat, towards goals and dreams that matter, things that matter to you, okay? So I want to talk to you first about the 3 essential elements of being productive, right? And all the ways of being productive that you guys have mentioned in the chat. So to me, here are the 3 essential elements of being productive, and then I'm going to go through these 3. But the first one is your energy, okay? Raising your energy, okay? And we're going to talk more about energy in a minute here, but first one is your energy. The second is structure, okay? Having the structures for you to stay focused. And then the third one is having a team environment to support you on track. Now, in the last 8 years, I've probably read 10 books on being productive. I just read a great book on productivity just in the last couple of months. And what I found is most systems for productivity tend not to cover all 3 of these. They tend to cover 1 or maybe 2. I just read a book that was pretty much just about structure. And I think structure is great, but if you don't have the energy, right, it's hard to really operate with the structure. And then structures are great, but if you don't have the team environment, sometimes it can be hard to stick to the structures, okay? So on this call, I'm going to be talking about all 3 of these, okay? By the way, if you would like a copy of these slides and a recording of this call, what I want to ask you to do is just in the chat, go ahead and just send me your email address. And in the chat, you can select between whether it goes to everyone or just me, and you can choose just me and just send me your email address. And then I'll make sure to add you to the list for all the goodies from this call. Okay, so go ahead and do that now if you'd like all of this. Okay, so we're going to start with energy. I believe energy is the starting point, because if you just don't have that focused, calm, present energy, it's hard to work with everything else, okay? So we're going to start with talking on this call some very specific ways for you to raise your energy. And who can relate to that? Who would like to, and by the way, you're welcome to, send your email to me, because I see them going in the chat, to everyone or just me. I'm assuming no one's going to take all these email addresses and so forth. I'm assuming we're in a good-hearted community here. We're not going to start spamming each other. So thank you for sending the emails that I'm seeing here. So first, let's talk about what kind of energy we want to optimize, okay? We want to raise here. So I'm a big believer that there's 4 levels of energy that we want to be raising when we want to be someone who's a creator, someone who's being productive, someone who's creating impact for others. We want to be raising our spiritual energy, our mental energy, our emotional energy, and our physical energy. Okay, so I'm going to start at the bottom. So our physical energy just is our bodies, like feeling physical energy, feeling that when we're sitting down and we want to work on something, we're designing a coaching program, right? We're working on our marketing, right? We're talking with people about the great work that we do. We want to have some physical energy on our body so we can just be moving and in action, okay? People can feel it. If you just don't have the physical energy, it's hard for someone to want to work with you or to get excited about your marketing, okay? So your physical energy is important. Then there's your emotional energy, right? There's a great saying, people don't care about what you know until they know that you care, right? So people want to feel you emotionally, right? And they want to feel that you are, people who are interested in working with you want to feel that you're a source of energetic resources for them at an emotional level, okay? So if you're feeling drained, or if you're feeling stressed, or if you're feeling overwhelmed, or all those sorts of things, then you don't have the sort of emotional energy for you to be productive and creative in the way that you want to be. Mental energy, right? What are the beliefs or the stories you're telling yourself about the current situation, right? Are there limiting beliefs you're telling yourself about your business opportunities right now, right? Or whether people are going to want to work with you or going to want to pay you right now. What other sort of things are you telling yourself during these times that are maybe disempowering, right? That aren't the sort of energy you're wanting to be having going through your mind, right? And then spiritual energy to me is about being connected to a greater sense of meaning, something bigger than you. It's also about being connected to a higher level of guidance, right? Having a sense that you're part of a larger creation, and that you're oftentimes that things are coming through you as downloads or as insights that you don't have to generate, but they seem to be coming from a source beyond you. I'm going to mute here just because there's a lot of noise on the line. Give me a second here. Let me stop the share so I can get to that. Just 1 second here. Feel free to mute yourself, but otherwise I'm just going to go to the controls here real quick. Okay, cool. Yeah, so let me go back to this here. Yeah, so ideally in your, whatever you're doing to stay productive, to stay focused, stay in flow, you're starting by raising your energy and optimizing your energy in all 4 of these areas, okay? So you want to make sure that you're having practices and structures that support you in having your energy be optimized or energized in all 4 of these areas. And so just type in the chat, just type a 1 if you know you could stand to have some improvement in 1 or maybe all of these areas, just so I can see where everybody's at here. So just type a 1 there. Okay, awesome, thank you. I just want to make sure I'm teaching stuff that's relevant and on point for everybody. So, okay, good. Okay, so I want to talk about the 4 ways we're going to be talking about today to optimize or to boost or raise your energy. So the first one, and we're going to be mostly talking about these things in kind of the context of you as a business owner and an entrepreneur and how they can affect your business, but clearly these things can apply in all areas of your life as well, okay? So the first thing we're going to be talking about, and this is the thing I start with every client I work with when I'm working with a client on their business, as well as creating interchange, is what is your highly motivating vision? And we're going to actually work on that together, you guys. So we're going to be doing a little bit of workshopping here as well. So it's not just training and teaching, but we're going to be working on some things together as well, okay? So here's why having a highly motivating vision is so important for you as a business owner or an entrepreneur, or if you're someone who, you know, is a manager or employee or a leader in a business. A highly motivating vision gives you fuel that gets you out of bed every morning to work on your business. Because as we know, working on our business sometimes is hard. Sometimes we have resistance to working on our business. Sometimes there's some challenging things we need to do. So one of the things that can give you energy on a daily basis is connecting with a highly motivating vision. But first you have to have one, okay? So we're gonna spend a little bit of time right now just I'm going to support everybody on making sure everybody has a highly motivating vision. Some of you may already have one, which is awesome, but this is a chance you can use this time together to just reconnect with what yours is, okay? So I want to give you an example from my own life, okay? So something that's highly motivating for me right now in my business is I'm working on creating a new school of healing and transformation. Because I've spent the last 8 years researching some of the most powerful healing and transformative modalities on the planet. And over the last 5 years of working with clients on creating deep interchange, healing core wounds, working with people's deepest patterns, clients ask me all the time, how are you, what are you doing? How are you doing this work you're doing? People ask me for this, people ask me for scripts, right? People are asking me for things they can learn about what I'm doing. And so finally I've gotten the memo and I'm going to be creating a school, and it's literally something that I think about every day. And the vision for me isn't, how many people are going to be in the school or how much money I'm going to be creating with the school or generating from the school. It's just having people in the school just learning to heal themselves, learning to heal others, and becoming powerful healers and transformational agents that can help other people in the world. And so I just get juiced by this vision every day. And when there's days I'm feeling like, oh, I have to work on this piece of marketing and I'm not feeling that creative, I reconnect with the vision, and it gives me a lot of fuel and energy. And for me, it gives me spiritual fuel, it gives me mental fuel, it gives me emotional fuel, and it even gives me physical fuel. So it helps me raise energy on all 4 levels, okay? And so what I've noticed is I will often ask people, business owners, including clients when I first start working with them, one of the first questions I'll ask people when they're feeling like they're not very motivated, or they're feeling like they're having a hard time focusing or getting into action, the first question I ask business owners is, what is your highly motivating vision? And a lot of people tell me, I don't have one, okay? Well, it's definitely a lot harder to be in a powerful energy in your business if you're not fueled by a highly motivating vision. So we're gonna start with that, and we're gonna do some work on that right now, okay? So I wanna ask you to go ahead and get out a journal or a piece of paper or open a Word doc or whatever you're going to use to write right now. And I want everyone here to just tap into, in your business, in your work right now, what is the absolutely single most motivating or exciting or thing that gets you juiced about it? And go ahead and write that down. If there's more than one thing, that's okay too. But write something down like, what's like the big why or the big juicy reason you do what you do? And sometimes we forget about it, right? We're in the trenches doing all this work on our business, and we can sometimes lose connection with the fact, like that spark or that excitement. Okay, so I'm gonna just stop the screen share for the moment here and just have us come back to everybody. So just take a moment right now and write, what's that thing that just is so meaningful for you? And if you're new in your business, if you're at an earlier stage or a newer stage, then just like tap into like, why are you stepping into this new work? Why did you maybe leave something else behind to do something new? There's a few of you on the line who I know for sure you're doing something new. And so why are you changing up what you're doing to do something new? And if you're a veteran, like Leonard or some other people on the line, you've been doing what you've been doing for a while. This is a chance to like refresh on like, why is it so freaking awesome that you get to do what it is that you do? Yeah, David, I know you've been doing what you've been doing for a while. So what's like the amazingness? And one thing that can help you is visualize yourself with a client or a group of clients that you work with. You can close your eyes right now and just see yourself with one person or a group, whatever just you feel the most connection with, and just see yourself working with that person or that group, doing your thing, doing your magic, right? You see them just lit up because they just get to be with you doing the magic that you do, right? And just feel like, what's so great about that? The other thing I'd love for you to write is, in addition to what's the thing or the magic you do, is what's the feeling you get from it. And so it can help, you know, for you to just go inside for a moment and connect with what's the feeling you get when you're doing your unique abilities, your unique gifts, your zone of genius, the work that you do. What does it feel like when you're in it? And by the way, if anyone's feeling stuck, feel free to type in the chat. And we can do a little support here as well. But I can tell by some expressions on some people's faces that they're getting into it. Yeah, I see you getting into it there, hon. I see that smile. I know you're a rock star. Ah, I love this, Jasmine. I just saw in the chat. I feel plugged into pure oneness and bliss, a timeless space. Okay, so whatever you've been able to capture so far, feel free to keep writing and keep journaling, but whatever you have so far, I want you to connect into the energy of it, okay? Doing your work, the unique gifts that you get to give, the special transformation you get to give to other people, the feeling of how it feels. And if it supports you, you can close your eyes and just like immerse yourself fully and just bask in like all of the goodness of your gifts and the transformation other people get to receive, and just how it feels to be in all that. Take a moment now and just immerse yourself in that, bask in it. If it helps, create a picture in your mind of you doing your work and the smiles or the expressions on people's faces as you're doing your work. Yeah, just raise your hand just so I can see if you're feeling it. If you're feeling it, if those of you who are on video, or just type a 1 in the chat, or just type feeling it, just so I know. Yeah, I see a lot of hands going up here. Awesome. Yeah, I forgot, you know, Zoom keeps adding these new features. I keep forgetting there's a reactions button. So you can click on reactions and put up a little reaction. Feeling it. Great, Yulia. Right on, Pamela. Yeah, so great. So I want you to stay connected with it, okay? Hold that picture, feel that feeling of you giving your gifts, people receiving your gifts, right? Feel that on your body, what that feels like. Put a smile on your face, or let your body adjust into the posture. You feel like, I see some of you already sitting up straight, if that's the posture of it. Or some of you might want to do a power pose. I love like both arms up in the air, like, yes. Right, just feeling that energy. Yeah, that's right, David. Yeah, just like that yes energy, that energy of yes, go ahead. Okay. And for those of you who are feeling this energy, I want you to answer this question, okay? I'm going to give you a question and just let this question sink into your body and allow an answer to come from inside of your body, okay? The question is, what's the most important thing you could be doing in your business right now? And just whatever answer comes through you, write that down. Don't question it, don't analyze it, don't negate it, cancel it. Just write down the first thing that comes through you to that question. Jasmine, teaching. Absolutely, Jasmine, you need to be teaching a lot more people. Just write down whatever comes through you, the first thing that comes to mind. And when you have written it down, put it in the chat so we can all share. Carrie, working my plan. Shar, play. Yes. Shar, for you, business and play, put those things together so it's all play. Right? That's when it's going to be true magic for you. Leonard, connecting with everyone in my database. Absolutely. Anubhav, reaching more people. For sure, Anubhav. Yes, tattoo that on your forehead. Put that on the mirror in your bathroom and lipstick, whatever you need. Just have that everywhere. Scott, writing your book. Ooh, Scott, I want to hear more about your book. Cheryl, just doing it. And Cheryl, I saw before you weren't feeling it, so I want to ask you, do you feel like you need any support on this one? If you want a little
what do you mean
laser
by support?
Yeah.
What do you mean by support?
Yeah, so just a little laser support right now. So Cheryl, let me ask
I don't
you,
know what
since
you
you've
mean.
already, just a little coaching right now.
Oh, sure.
So what do you suppose is in the way of you, having a connection to, the powerful work you do or the gifts that you give and so forth?
I like what I do, but it doesn't like jazz me up, but I like it because it makes me good money and it gives me a lot of free time. And it's what I do during my free time that jazzes me up. But a lot of that I can't do now because of COVID. so I just kind of feel a malaise.
Gotcha. Totally gotcha. So the thing you are doing that, pays well and gives you free time, is there anything in that, if you really take a look at that, is there anything in that where you are actually bringing your magic to the world?
No. I get a
So let
sense
me
of
ask in a different way.
competency and I learn new things and I'm curious about every different deal I do. And like I said, I learn things, but it's not like that kind of thing. I used to run workshops a long time ago, so I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But that's not what I'm doing now.
So the other question I have for you, Cheryl, is there a way you haven't been bringing your special magic to this work you do, and you could be, that would maybe be a little different the way you're doing things now?
If I knew
That
the
you
answer
haven't
to
thought of
that.
until now. What's that?
If I knew the answer to that. I just try to bring kindness and decency to what I do.
And what is your greatest superpower?
I think I can feel people and how they feel. And I think I can often people put somewhat at ease, and I'm compassionate and I'm empathetic. Those are, I guess, my superpowers. And I'm fun. I can be fun.
Yeah.
But those are not
I
things that I
feel
really can bring a lot to my work. A lot of what I do is numbers and analysis, and it's a very different sort of thing.
Okay, Cheryl, if you have time, I'd love for you to stay after when this call is over, and we can just maybe chat about it more if you're so inclined.
Sure.
But I'm always,
I knew I'd be a
always believe
challenge.
there's possibility. There's a reason you were here today, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, so who's feeling a connection to maybe more connected to a highly motivated, thank you for that, Cheryl. So who's feeling more connected to a highly motivating vision than they were before? Just raise your hand or type a yeah in the chat. See a lot of hands going up. Who's feeling more energy just by being connected to that highly motivating vision than you were when you first showed up for this call? Raise your hand or give me a yes in the chat. Okay, cool. I see a lot of people. Okay, so here's the magic, you guys. You want to connect to your highly motivating vision every day. Every day. And this is something I've been doing for the last 2 weeks, and it has just been amazing for my energy and for my focus on the things that are important. And so one of the things I'm working on right now is a meditation, just like an audio recording with some of the things that I'm kind of doing in my own inner meditation around this. So for all of you who sent me an email, I'm going to send out the recording when I'm done. I want to do it this week. But just a meditation you can listen to that's going to be really short, 5 minutes or less, for you to stay connected to your highly motivating vision. And you can listen to it every day or whenever you want. Yes, I see Alicia, the fraud police are still showing up here. We're going to get to that in a little bit here, okay? So the key thing is to not just like you're feeling the energy of your highly motivating vision right now, the key thing is to stay connected to that every day, okay? To fuel yourself with that on a daily basis, okay? Just like you don't have meals once a week, right? You have meals every day. You're getting physical fuel every day. You want to have the spiritual and mental and emotional fuel every day as well. And so the highly motivating vision gives you that fuel when you stay connected with it on a daily basis or on a regular basis, okay? So if you haven't already sent me your email, I will be sending out that. I just want to give you guys some of my tools because I'm so psyched by some of the things that I've been experiencing recently in terms of some of my own productivity practices. So I just want to share with all of you guys for being here, okay? So I'm going to share my screen here because there's something else that connects right with this here. Can you see the value of being connected with your highly motivating vision on a daily basis? Just type something new in the chat like value. Okay, we got totes from Lauren, right on. Okay, cool. So I'm going to share my screen again here. So the second thing, and this is something I've really been playing a lot with in the last month. This is kind of newer to my world, but it's been very powerful. So if you can see my screen here, I'm sharing the 4 ways to optimize your energy again. We just did the first one. So the second one is to be creating in your business or in any area of life from the energy of your desired reality, not the energy of your current reality. Let me break this down a little bit, okay? So when Alicia posted, you know, the fraud police seem to be showing up right now, that's the energy of your current reality, okay? So wherever you are now, there's some goal or aspiration or vision of where you want to go to in your business, right? If the only energy you're coming from in creating the new in your business is from where you are right now, then what's in your energy right now? There's often lack of confidence. There's often self-doubt, right? There's often some fear. What are people going to say? How are people going to react, right? All the resistance and stuff that gets in your way is in your current reality. However, in that future reality or your desired reality, it's the place where you've already accomplished what it is you want to accomplish. It's the space where you've already accomplished your highly motivating vision. In that space, you feel, I've done it. I know how to do it. I'm confident. I'm accomplished, right? I love being in this space, okay? When you're able to connect to the energy of already having done what it is you're wanting to accomplish, it's a very different energy, okay? It's just like if I were to ask you, you know, to accomplish something you already did 5 years ago, you'd be like, oh, that was easy. You know, I've already done that a million times since that time, right? So when you can connect with the energy of the desired reality, the thing you want to create, the place you want to be, from that energy, you have a lot more resources, you have a lot more answers, and it's just, you have a lot more clarity, okay? And so, by the way, I did a sneaky little experiment with you guys already. So for those of you who are connected with your highly motivating vision, I asked you to stay connected with that energy, right? And for a lot of you were feeling flow and accomplished and a sense of contribution and lots of other things. From that space, I asked you, what's the next best action in your business? And the actions you were all posting were super powerful, okay? From that space of just already being connected to that highly motivating vision and it already being possible and already being there, so many of you had instant clarity about the next thing to do because you were in that space. I didn't ask you to tap into, you know, what's your next best action in business from a space of constriction and self-doubt and feeling like a fraud and not really being sure, okay? So if you want to create greater clarity, greater focus, greater ease in your business, it can really help to start every day being connected to that future reality or that desired reality you want to create in your business. From the energy of already being there, already feeling the fulfillment of it, already feeling the satisfaction of it, already feeling the joy of it, okay? Because if you think about it, whatever it is you're desiring in your business, right? If it's more money, more clients, creating a school, you know, something really cool and exceptional and extraordinary, when you've created that, how are you going to feel? Whatever it is that your highly motivating vision is, right? When you tap into how is that going to feel, and a lot of you wrote down how that's going to feel, the question is, why wait until you've accomplished that to feel that way? Because what if the vision you have is a 3-year vision, right? So, or a 5-year vision, right? So what if it's going to take you 3 or 5 years to accomplish that really exciting thing? You're not going to be able to feel and experience all of the joys or the excitement or the pleasure of that vision until years away, right? And all the happiness that's going to come along with it. So in my work, I'm all about, let's connect to the energy and everything that we're wanting to feel from our desired reality right now. And guess what? I didn't tell you that's what we're going to do. I just led you through something, and most of you did it. Right? Because I asked you, raise your hand or type in the chat, you know, if you're like feeling like a lot of positive energy around your highly motivating vision, right? So, because I know the first question a lot of people would tell me is, oh, I don't know if I can connect, you know, to the energy of my desired reality. But before I explained what you were doing, a lot of you just went and did it, okay? So if you want to raise your energy and you want to have a sense of clarity about your path, right, what actions to take in your business to feel in a sense of flow and ease, you start by connecting with how you want to feel and how you want it to look and how you want it to sound and how you want it to feel and smell and taste in your desired reality before you sit down at your desk, you know, at 9 in the morning or whenever you sit down to do work. You want to connect it how you want it to be first. And I'll give you a little example from my life. So I used to do this meditation with Tony Robbins, where you like start the day by visualizing like what are the 3 things you want to accomplish during the day and some other things and so forth. And I'd visualize these things and, you know, would be feeling great. But then I'd be feeling kind of stressed, like, oh, I have all these things I need to do now, you know, and then I'd be thinking about my to-do list, and I'd, you know, review my to-do list for the day before I got started. And then I'd be feeling stressed, like, oh, look at all these things I have to do, right? So instead of feeling jazzed, I'd be already feeling like, oh, I'm under the gun. And I'd be telling myself, oh, when I complete my to-do list, then I'll be able to relax. Like that was a frame I was holding, right? Get everything done and then relax. Right? Kind of like what you said, Shar, you know, like get everything done and then go play. The only problem with that was what? What's the problem with when I get everything done, I'll be able to relax and play and everything? Type in the chat, what's the problem with having that as your frame for the day? Yes, Shar nailed it right away. It's never all done. It never gets done. Lauren typed the same thing, right? Yep. The problem is, how often do you actually complete your to-do list for the day? Even if it's just like the list for just today. I mean, it's very common I don't finish my to-do list for the day, right? So then I don't get to relax, okay? So, or Jasmine, you know, not enough energy to get it done. Randall, procrastination, yeah. So if you start the day looking at this, and you know, usually I put together an ambitious to-do list, right, Lauren? It's so optimistic about what I can accomplish. I'm always way more optimistic about what I can do in a day than I can actually accomplish in reality, right? So I start the day stressed, right? I end the day stressed. How great is that, right? So you guys want to hear the new practice I've been doing? The new practice is, yes, I'm getting some yeses and I'm seeing some smiles and some tell me already expressions. So here's the new practice. So I start the day with, yes, I still have a to-do list because it's good to have clarity, right? What am I going to do today? But I start the day with the mindset of whatever I get done today is whatever I get done. I'm going to do my best. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot done, but it's not about getting everything done. It's just whatever I'm going to get done today is going to be good. Okay. And then how do I want to feel? David Ferreira, this is so nourishing. Thank you, brother. So then I go, as I'm getting things done today, how do I want to feel as I'm getting things done? Well, I want to feel flow. That's always like one of the top things on my list, right? I want to feel like some satisfaction or fulfillment at my workmanship, my craftsmanship, right? Like I like to do work with excellence, right? So I want to feel like, damn, this is good. So, you know, like when I was working on the outline for this call today, I was working on the outline going, damn, there's some good stuff in here if I do say so myself. And I'm not saying that to brag, I'm just saying that like that's the state I want to be in. Not like, I don't want to be in a state of like stress, like, oh, are people going to like this call or people going to like this outline? I want to be in the state of like, I'm loving what I'm creating here. Can anybody relate to that? Right? Because, you know, I was telling my housemates here in Hawaii this morning, I was saying, you know, I don't want to be in a state of stress all day until the call happens at 7, right? Worried about how it's going to go. I want to be in a state of joyful creation as I create, you know, some of the material for the call today, right? So I've already had a great day even before the call happens, right? I've had a day of flow and creation, okay? So when you're thinking about your to-do list, when you start the day, I'd love for you to journal, what's the space you want to be in as you're looking at your to-do list and you're thinking about how the day's going to go as you're doing the items on your to-do list. What do you want to be feeling as you're working through your list? Go ahead and write that down now. Yeah, David wrote light, fun, energized. Love that. I'm very similar. A sense of enjoyment, yes. Elated, inspired, supported, grateful. By the way, you guys on this call, feel free to plagiarize, okay? This is an opportunity to raise your energy with the support of other people's energy, okay? So let's get some good ideas from each other. Yulia, inspired, creative, motivated, energized, jazz, excited. Randall, stoked. Carrie, excitement, flow, meaning. Yes. Okay. Just reading everything you're writing is just raising my energy, right? Magical, competent. Okay, Cheryl, I'd like for you to stretch a little bit too, right? Like what else can make you feel really good? Jasmine, 1,000,000%. We're raising the bar on 100%. 100% is not enough anymore. Now it's 1,000,000. Yes. Okay. So whatever you've written now, I want you to imagine right now, and you can close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Okay. Feel free to sit back and close your eyes. Relax in your chair. Let yourself just be supported by the weight in your chair. We're just going to do a couple of minutes of closed eye process here. So just let yourself relax. Feel your body. There's no place to go other than to be right here, right now. Just in this moment with everybody. Feeling connected. And take a deep breath in and let it out with a sound. With your exhale a little longer than your inhale. Another breath. Exhale. Another breath in. And an exhale. Very good. That's right. And so now in this moment, with your eyes closed, if that's comfortable, just imagine you're at the start of a new day. Perhaps it's Tuesday, tomorrow, whatever day it is for you. If you're listening to the recording, whatever day it is for you tomorrow. And just see yourself getting ready to get started. You're connected to your highly motivating vision. You're pumped about creating for others and yourself. You're pumped about your vision, and why you're here on this planet, and what you're here to do, and all the people you get to connect with and who can receive your magic. And even if you're not seeing them that day, maybe you're working on something they're going to get to receive, so you're still in connection with these beautiful souls. And now feeling connected to all that joy and satisfaction and connection from doing your work and giving your magic. Now imagine you're pulling up your to-do list in front of you. And these are the items that are going to make a difference for you and your life and the lives of others today. They're going to move you forward towards your goals and your dreams. And some of them are harder than others. But looking at your to-do list, just notice how you're realizing right now. It may be challenging or not, but whatever you get done today is what you're going to get done. There's only so many hours in the day, and you're going to do your best. And you're going to get done whatever you were meant to get done, and it's going to be good. And you're going to feel good afterwards. And notice right now, at the beginning of your new day, you're choosing exactly how you want to feel as you're working through your list of things. And just choose it right now. Whatever you wrote down or whatever's just coming to your mind right now, choose to feel that way even before you start. Before you start with the first item, just choose how you want to feel as you're working on your to-dos today. And whatever those feelings are, just go ahead and say them in your mind. And as you're saying them in your mind, feel those feelings right now. For me, it's present, flow, grateful. I'm getting to rock the world with my gifts. Doing things that matter. Yes. Fulfilled. Motivated. Aligned. Ready. Okay. So when you're ready, go ahead and come back to this space. And go ahead and type in the chat, what's it feeling like to start your day, to work on the things that are going to move you forward towards your goals and dreams. Ah, Mary, beaming with amazement about my accomplishment. Shar feels easeful. Carrie, pure joy. Scott, fun, exciting. Love that. Clear, clean, and breezy. Wendell, excited. Eric, empowered flow. Ooh, I love that tone. Empowered flow. David, sweet and playful. Gary, hi Gary. Pride, playful, loving. Yes. Leonard, motivated and happiness. Oh, Lauren just typed effortless focus. You know, my theme for the year is effortless manifestation. So on the same wavelength, Lauren. Okay. So now, could you imagine if you actually created this for yourself, you just went through this experience before you started your day? How would that change things? Go ahead and type in the chat. How would that make your workday different if you started by connecting with this sort of energy? Clear vision, connected, effortless ease, grounding, less anxiety. Yes, if you had less anxiety, what would you have then? Jasmine, quantum breakthroughs. Cheryl, enjoyment. Yes, Cheryl. Right on. Gary, my to-dos would look like ways to honor excellence. Love that, Gary. Excellence is definitely one of my core values. I love doing things with excellence. David, can't wait to get out of bed. Yes, I love that. On above, take two. More doing, less thinking. Yes. And I would say on above, more doing, less thinking, and more being in an energetic vibration. Alice, trust in my process. Oh, high integrity. Yes, love that one. Defeat the shoulds. So if you were defeating the shoulds, you would be in what energy, right? Because we're leaving out the what you're not going to feel. We're just going to, it's hard to connect with what you're not going to feel. It's a little abstract. So we're going to connect with what it is you're going to feel. Okay. So would you guys like it if I took kind of what we just did there and turned that into a little audio meditation and sent that to you? Just type a yes in the chat if that would be helpful. Okay, we got some yeses rolling in. Cool. You know, for me, one of my values is collaboration and co-creation. So, you know, just having this opportunity to present like some of the best of my material around productivity, ease, and flow is just, you know, and getting to share it with you and getting to have all of your feedback and so forth is just inspiring me to get to work on some of these things too. So, you know, I'm raising my energy by, you know, being in this really awesome co-creative experience with all of you. So thank you. And if there's anything else you'd like to have related to being productive and in flow and ease, feel free to put it in the chat and I'll, you know, review that as well. Okay. So what we just covered is generating, creating, doing from the space you want, the energy you want to be in, your desired reality, right? Starting with your desired reality and then creating and doing from that energy, okay? Just for review. This is a game changer, everybody, because if you're starting on something that's ambitious, right, that's challenging from your current reality, oftentimes there's a lot of resistance, right? If you're starting from the space of your desired reality, right, there's a lot more flow there, okay? So let's connect to that flow or that gratitude and all the other things you've written down, all the things you've put in the chat, right? Start there. It makes a world of difference, okay? So we're starting with energy, everybody. We're starting with energy before we get into structure, because if you start with the right energy, it's so much easier to jump into the structures. Okay, let me see here. I'm going to talk about the other two items really briefly here. I'm going to share my screen again because I want to get to structure. So the other two things when it comes to your energy, well, first, let's just touch on morning routine, okay? Having a morning routine where you can raise your energy on all four levels, spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. Having a morning routine that's specifically designed to raise your energy at all four of those levels is going to make a big difference. You know, when I talk to clients or I talk to business friends about their morning routines, what I find is rarely are people consciously and specifically designing their morning routine to optimize or to raise all four of those levels, okay? So what you want to do is, if you already have a morning routine, just double check. Am I doing things to support myself on all four of those levels? If you don't have a morning routine, we're going to talk about that just really briefly right now, okay? So I wanted to ask you all, why is it valuable to focus on creating a morning routine? Type in the chat, why is a morning routine so important? And I start my day every morning with a morning routine. And if I'm busy, you know, maybe it'll be shorter, maybe it'll be longer, depending on the demands of the day. Randall grounds the day. Anubhav gets you in the right frame of mind. Jasmine aligns the day. Scott, as it starts, so it goes. Yes, as it starts, so it goes. So your morning routine, yeah, create great habits. I love that. Yes, great answers. Wendell, when I exercise early in the morning, it makes me feel ready to conquer. Anubhav stops you from getting distracted. Yes, you know, so there's a great phrase, which is when you win the morning, you win the day, okay? Or, you know, to riff off of what Scott posted, your morning routine is the microcosm that reflects the macrocosm, okay? So if the first little while of your day, the first 30 minutes, the first 60 minutes, you're stressed, you're frazzled, right? You're checking your email, you're looking at all the whatever messages coming in. I know when I switch my phone on in the morning, it's like Facebook Messenger, it's WhatsApp, it's texts, it's, you know, messages coming from all these places. If you start reading those things the first thing in the morning, you've already ruined your day. Okay? Because what are you thinking about when you're looking at other people's messages first thing in the morning? Type in the chat. What are you thinking about? Where's your energy if the first thing you're looking at is the messages on your phone? Carrie, other people. Randall, how shitty my life is. You're thinking about other people's priorities. Okay? Okay, people aren't messaging you saying, hey, you know, I'm not getting messages saying, hey, Patrick, don't forget to do your morning routine. And when you're feeling really great, you know, message me back. Unfortunately, that's not what I'm getting, although I might now after this call, right? No, that's not what you're getting. Usually it's like other people's urgent priorities, okay? So you want to not start your day with that. You want to, you know, if you can't avoid it, leave your phone on airplane mode or whatever until you've done your morning routine, right? Start with your morning routine. I'm just going to give you guys a quick sketch of my morning routine. And then when I send you some materials related to my productivity system, I'm going to send you a morning routine template that's going to have some of the options of what you can put in your morning routine. And you can just choose from a menu and design your own, okay? The key thing is when you design your morning routine, don't put too much into it. What I find is put a few things or put a handful of things in your morning routine and then change your routine from month to month, okay? Keep it fresh, okay? So there might be some things that aren't on your routine right now, but a month or two from now, you can put those in and swap something out, okay? So let me just give you a little walkthrough of my morning routine. So the first thing I do when I wake up is I smile. Okay, I'm laying in bed and I smile. I can't remember who I learned this from. A lot of these things are things I learned from other people. But just by smiling, you've already started your day in an awesome way. Again, I'm just sitting there, I'm just smiling. And then I think of a few things I'm grateful for, but I don't make this a rocket science thing, okay? It's like, I'm grateful for this warm bed. You know, I'm grateful for this comfortable pillow. You know, I'm grateful for this beautiful house I live in, right? It can just be the most basic things in the world, okay? Then I get out of bed, I make the bed, and some of you may have heard, I think there's even a TED Talk on this, but do you know why doing something like making your bed is a great way to start your day? Success. Yes, you've already accomplished something in the day. Thanks, Molly. Yes, you've already had your first success, okay? Then I, not necessarily in this order, the order is somewhat interchangeable, but I do power poses. So I like to do yes, yes, yes. I'm like looking up in the sky. Yes, I usually go out to the window or I might go outside. I'll do 10 of those. I like to do 2 to 3 minutes of intense exercise. Since I live right next to a hill, it's usually I'll just like jog straight up the hill. Before I do the exercise, I'll fill up a big glass of water, you know, like a big sort of large glass of water like this. I'll fill up a large glass of water, usually it's like a liter or so, and I'll drink the water. So I like to just rehydrate first thing in the morning. After I do my exercise, I'll do some breath work, okay? One type of breath work I like is from Tony Robbins. It's called priming, where you basically kind of do this sort of motion and you do 30 just rapid breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, okay? So everything I just described so far takes 10 minutes, okay? What's great about what I just described so far is you're hydrating, you're getting your heart moving, you're getting water into your system, you're getting oxygen into your system, okay? So you got the physical layer, right? Because your blood circulating, water, oxygen, and so forth. So you're just doing like a little bit of intensive getting your physical body going, right? Gratitude and, you know, the power poses are great for your emotional well-being and also your spiritual, okay? And then the next thing I do, and I'm starting to get into my workday, is then I'll do a meditation to connect to my highly motivating vision and then what I want to create that day, okay? We're getting into the mental and the emotional here and some spiritual as well, okay? So I make sure to do all these things before I start doing anything resembling work, okay? All the things I've just described can be done easily in a half an hour or less, okay? And then if I want to do more, I might do a little reading or I might do a little meditation, okay? There's other things you can add as well. And then usually there's some, you know, take a shower or eat something and so forth. But what I described to you were the practices that you add in addition to your morning breakfast and your shower, okay? And then the last but not least thing I do before I get to work is I formulate my plan for the day and I circle the 3 most important items for the day. And then out of those 3, I circle the 1 most important thing for the day, okay? And then guess when I do that one? Go ahead and type in the chat. Yes, you got it. First, why would you do the most important, most challenging, the most thing with the highest ROI? Why would you do that first? So you can feel good. Yeah, willpower decreases during the day. Yeah, your willpower, your focus, and your energy decreases during the day, right? So most people, not everybody, but most people have their maximum amount of energy and focus first thing in the day, okay? So if you do the most important thing at the end of the day, well, usually you're not even gonna get it done because you don't have enough energy, and then you're guaranteed to then be putting it off till the next day, okay? The other side benefit is when you do the most important thing first, then you're pumped, right? I got it done. I got this hard thing or this important thing done, and then you're ready to roll to some other things, okay? So who right now starts their day every day with the most important thing every day? Raise your hand if you have that practice. Okay, so some people, so if nothing else, take this away as a strategy, raise your energy and then work on the most important thing first every day. It'll make a world of difference in your business. You'll actually double your productivity if you do the most important thing first every day. Just that alone will double your productivity. I've seen that all the time with clients. Okay, so type in the chat, please. Either I have a morning routine already, or I'm going to create one if you want to create one, and just start your day on the right foot. Win the day by winning your morning. Just let me know where you're at with this. Okay, some people do. Some people are adding to theirs. Some people are creating a routine. I need to have a better one. Some people make an upgrade. Great. Okay. Awesome. Okay, thanks everybody. And so then the last thing I want to mention in terms of energy is, and it was on the slide here, but it's basically the 4th item to optimize your energy, and this is a big topic, is releasing the resistance and the inner baggage that's in the way of you accomplishing what you want, okay? This topic alone needs to be its own call, okay? Because it's a big topic. But have you ever noticed that when you set a goal for yourself, like a juicy, ambitious goal, that you immediately feel some sort of resistance to it? Has anyone ever noticed that? Or has anyone ever said to themselves, like, I really want this thing, but I don't know why. I just get in my own way. Okay. So these are the things I hear from clients and people all the time. A lot of clients work with me because they just say, I'm getting in my own way. I don't know why. I just need to do something about it. Okay. My whole, body of work, the inner freedom process, is all about helping people get out of their own way, work with the interior things like your inner demons, your inner patterns, your core wounds, pain from childhood you're carrying into the present and the future, all those sorts of things. So that's such a big topic. I'm just going to cover that on a different call. I'll let you know when I do that call. But basically, if you want to have your energy just moving, in an effortless, clean way towards your goals, then you also want to remove or work with a resistance that's in between you and your goals as well. I'm just noting that because we can't cover everything on this call, but that's a big one to get to. Okay, next we're going to talk about structure. Before we get into structure, I want to have everybody stand up if you can. Otherwise, you can stay seated. But I want to have everybody just do a power pose right now, okay? If you haven't done a power pose, it's just a way you're going to get into your body and create some power, okay, around being productive, being in flow, around something you really want, okay? So you can do a power pose that looks like this, yes. You can do a power pose that looks like this. You can do a power pose where you're doing like a big clap, but go ahead and be creative. If you already have one, just use the one you have. If not, you can use one of mine or something else that you're seeing on the call, okay? And then we're gonna make some sounds. So I'm gonna unmute everybody, okay? So as you're doing your power pose, you can say yes, or you can say whatever you want, okay? If you're not muted, go ahead and unmute yourself. Okay?
Yay!
And when you do your power pose, make a sound, say a word or whatever, okay?
Mark, I have to make a power move.
Power move, okay? Make up your own. 1, 2, 3. Yes!
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 Making
1,
my
2,
power
3.
move.
Yes!
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 Hey!
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Yes.
I
Do
hear
a
you.
power move with me.
Yes! What's the
Yes.
word? Right for the rooftop. Yes! 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 A round of applause.
Yes, Goshen.
All right.
Do whatever you want to do. They're doing
That's
power
right.
moves on the call right now. So
Oh.
Right on. Someone's explaining it to somebody. I love it. Oh, yeah. Okay. As sad as it is, as sad as it is, I decided to mute everybody. So, all right. I can see someone explaining that to a police officer. Officer, I was just doing a power pose right now. Okay, you guys. So we're going to move on here. We're going to move on to structure. And so who's ready for the next elements? Structure. Give me a power pose or give me some body language if you're ready. All right. I'm seeing a lot of fist pumps. Okay, cool. So we're going to talk about two things when it comes to structure. Okay. But first, let me just ask, why is structure important? We talked about energy, and I hope it's clear now, like why you want to be channeling and harnessing your energy and raising your energy to be productive and in flow. So why is structure so important? Think about that for a second. Why are we talking about structure? And I'm going to especially ask those of you who maybe feel a little bit of resistance to structure. I know there's, two types of people. There's the people who embrace and are structure, all about structure and organization. And there's people who are all about flow and possibility and staying with possibility in the moment. So why are we talking about structure as part of productivity? A lot of good answers in the chat here. Container for your energy, so you don't waste time and energy. Component of predictability. Yes. So I want to give you guys so there's a lot of great answers here. I want to give you a slightly different angle on this. So in these times that we're in, or anytime you're, in a stressful situation with your business, there's a certain element of impact on your nervous system and a certain element of, for some people, even a level of trauma, right? Is anybody feeling like a little traumatized by everything that's going on in the world right now? Yeah, some people, right? So if you think about it, what is at the core of every traumatic event, right? So if you had a traumatic event in childhood or your adulthood, what's at the core of every trauma? There's a few different things, but one of the things that's at the core, pain, for sure. One of the things, helplessness, yes. One of the things at the core of every traumatic experience is unpredictability. And someone wrote lack of control, and that's another element, right? Unpredictability, you don't know what's going to happen and you don't have control over what's going to happen, right? Well, look at the world we're in right now, right? Highly unpredictable. Things are changing week to week, right? There's different, state ordinances or national regulations changing week to week. Are we going to be able to go to the beach? Are we going to be able to go to work, right? Are we going to be able to connect with people? Week to week, everything's sort of changing, right? Things are up and down. There's a lot of unpredictability, and people are living in a much more unpredictable space than we've ever lived in, okay? So now think about it. Does anyone here have kids? Raise your hand if you have kids. Okay, I see, yeah, some people with kids, awesome. So could you imagine if the school said, hey, we're gonna change the system every day, your kid's school is gonna start at a different time, and we're gonna email you the morning of school and let you know when school starts. How would that be, right? Just type a word in the chat. What would that be like? Chaos, okay? Now here's the thing. A lot of people run their businesses this way, right? Especially if you're a self-employed or a solopreneur. Are you starting your business the same time every day? Most people are not, right? So it's funny that your kids have more structure. For those of you who have kids, Scott wrote busted. So those of you who have kids, your kids have 100 times more structure than you do as an entrepreneur, okay? And it really works for your kids, right? They know when school starts, they know when lunch is, they know when they're gonna get picked up, they know how they're gonna get home. It's a predictable environment where they can focus on school, okay? So we wanna create the same thing for ourselves. We wanna create a predictable environment where day to day, we have a sense of structure that our nervous systems can relax into, okay? It's actually gonna be really good self-care for your nervous system to have a certain level of structure that you can lean on a daily basis, okay? And especially in these times, having even more structure is going to be a salve for your nervous system, okay? And so here's something I want you to take away from this call. The more unpredictability there is in your environment, and it's not just during the pandemic where we sometimes have some unpredictability in our businesses, right? But the more unpredictability you have in your environment, the more you want to have something predictable to calm your nervous system. And the easiest way to do this is to add structure to your day, okay? And I don't mean you have to plan every minute, but to at least have a broad stroke structure, okay? So we're going to be talking about two structures today, your daily structure and then your planning and action system, okay? Let's start with your daily structure, okay? So I recommend having at least this sort of daily structure. You have set times when you do your morning routine. So for me, I like to do my morning routine from 7:30 to 8:30, okay? And you can be a little flexible on your morning routine, right? If something's come up, maybe you didn't sleep well or whatever, you can change the duration, right? But the main idea is start with a morning routine, okay? Then I like to start my workday at 9. Okay, I've done my morning routine, I'm sitting down, I'm working 9 o'clock. And it's no different, by the way, if you were employed for someone else's company, you would be expected to be at work at a certain time. Why not do that for your own company too, okay? But when you get into that rhythm, you start at a certain time every day, you've optimized your energy before you started, you're gonna be productive. And then when you start your work every day at the same time, what's the first thing you're doing when you start your work? Type in the chat, what's the first thing? Yes, the most important thing, okay? So morning routine, start your workday every day at the same time. Start with the most important thing, okay? And then take a lunch break. You can take a morning break too, right? The morning break, for me, is less critical to be at the same time. I just have it in my mind, I'm gonna take a morning break, okay? Then I like to take a lunch break around 12, okay? And then I like to take an afternoon break around 3. For me, I like to take a nap. So I take a nap around 3, sometimes it's 2:30, sometimes it's 3:30, but I like naps. So I take a nap break. I don't have like a set nap time. Maybe it's 10 minutes, maybe it's 30, just whatever I need, right? So we're not talking about being super rigid here, but there's a structure, okay? And then I like to have dinner at 7. So ideally, I'm done with work at 6, and then I'm having dinner at 7. Honor Bob wrote, how do you take a nap when you're at a co-working space? You know, I used to co-work at this place called the Impact Hub in Oakland, where they actually had kind of a nap space. So it was one of the reasons why I chose that place as my co-working space. Okay. So how does it sound? Does everybody feel like you could create something like this and then stick to it? Let me know in the chat. And does anyone have any objections to creating something like this? Let me know that in the chat. Okay, I'm seeing lots of yeses here. Sure, I like that you have flexibility within the structure. Yes, I like structure and flexibility. Yes, the combination. Wendell, worried about sticking to it. Yes, we're going to talk about that in the next section. Cheryl, need to go to bed earlier to do this. I totally agree, and part of my structure is going to bed earlier as well. And so I've made a commitment to start going to bed earlier so I can wake up and just always have time for my morning routine. So I'm right there with you. Okay. I can create it, but suck at maintaining it. We're going to talk about how to maintain the structure in a little bit. Okay. So who is finding this valuable? The idea of having a daily structure. This, I see some hands going up. Okay. Awesome. So the next thing I want to cover, I'm just going to cover briefly. I'll send you a handout that's going to have a little bit more detail. But I want to walk you through the planning and action system. I'm going to be covering this in a very brief way. But this planning and action system is core to being focused and productive as an entrepreneur. So even though I'm giving it somewhat less time, relatively speaking, in this training, the level of importance of this next piece is very, very high, okay? So let me go back to my slides here, because I just want to show you what I'm talking about here. By the way, who has right now an effective planning and action system that you use right now, where you're on a daily, weekly, and yearly basis, you're setting your priorities, you're setting your actions, and then you're following them? I'm just curious. Type in the chat, type a 5 if you have something that you follow on a religious basis or a regular basis. It's like integral to your productivity system. Lauren has one, but user error is the problem. Yes, good to acknowledge whether it's the system or the operator. Used to, but fell off the wagon. Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you for the honesty here. Same here. Okay, we're going to cover it and we're going to talk about how to stick to it, because sticking to it is probably even more challenging than actually putting one into place. Molly feels too big. Yes, and we want to simplify. So let me share my screen here. So let me show you basically the outline. So, so this is the outline of a planning and action system that I really like. And I want to share a couple of my influences for this. So one influence is there's a really great book called The 12-Week Year by Brian Moran. The 12-Week Year. Really great book if you want to get deeper into this sort of thing. Another one of my influences is a great coach called Chris Duncan. So I've learned a lot from both of those sources around this. And so I'm going to just take you through this step by step. So the first thing is, before you start planning, you want to have highly motivating vision, right? Not only does it give you a lot of energy fuel, which we've already talked about, but then you know what you're heading towards. And then when you know what you're heading towards, you can plan the action steps, okay? Now, I recommend having a highly motivating vision in the business and financial realm, in your relationship area, in your health area, in your leisure and fun area, and then in your personal development or growth area, okay? Doesn't have to be a super long thing. It could just be a sentence or two in each one of these, okay? But if you have a vision for all areas of your life, you're more inclined to actually move in that direction, okay? So this is pretty basic here. I think you're all familiar with this. The main thing is to actually do it, okay? Then the next thing is when you have this vision that you're really juiced and excited about moving towards, then you want to set some objectives or some goals, okay? I think it's kind of interesting to divide your goals for the year into two categories: business, financial, and everything else, okay? It's kind of interesting because a lot of people are way too focused on their business, so then their business takes over everything. Then other people are way under focused on their business, so their business, they have some goals, but they're really not connected to it at all. So if you're a business owner, it can be useful to just say business goals, everything else goals. It kind of simplifies it, so you can say, okay, I'm going to focus on my business goals, and then I'm going to focus on my everything else goals, okay? So it just simplifies sort of organizing your goals. I found that to be really useful. When you have your goals for the year, then you want to break things down into your 90-day objectives or your 90-day plan, in essence, okay? One of the challenges about only having goals for a year is it's kind of daunting to try to achieve these big goals for the year, but it seems a little more manageable to try to achieve a 90-day chunk, okay? So it's really useful to say, here's what I want to accomplish this year in terms of goals, and then I'm going to break that into the next 90-day period, and here's what I'm working towards in the next 90 days, okay? Then you have a more manageable piece that you're working towards, okay? When you have your 90-day objectives, then you can break it down even more to your 30-day plan. This month, what am I doing this month, okay? And then you have your weekly plan. What am I doing this week? And then you have your daily plan. What am I doing today, okay? So for some of you, if this is too much, you can remove one of these pieces. You can perhaps remove the 30-day plan and work off your 90-day objectives, for example, if you want to just have fewer things to work off of. I'm currently working off of all of these right now. And I just want to show you a couple of examples of what I'm talking about. So here's a template for creating a one-year objective, right? Here are your financial objectives. Here are your other, okay? Here's a template for creating your 90-day targets, okay? And so I'll send you guys, some templates you can start to adopt in your own business that you can modify for yourself. And then the basic idea is when you start out, create your objectives for the year. Well, of course, you're going to have your highly motivating vision to start off with. Then you create your objectives for the year, and you break that down to your 90-day objectives, your 30-day plan, your weekly plan, and then your daily tasks. Most of the time, you're going to be working with your weekly plan and your daily tasks, okay? And you start the day with your list of your daily tasks that are based on what you want to accomplish for that week and for that month, okay? This is one of those things where it's going to be a lot clearer when you have some of the planning templates. So I want to send you the planning templates and you'll get to take a look at that. It'll make more sense So first, I just want to stop and see, this is pretty high level here, obviously right now, but does anyone have any burning questions or comments related to this? But what I actually would like to put more emphasis on is how to stick to your daily schedule and your planning and action system. So are there any burning questions right now? Okay, no burning questions. I also realize we've been on the call for quite a while here, so I'll send you some of the materials and you can take a look at it. Okay, so I want to go on to the last element here. So hang out with me here, people. So we've talked about energy. We've talked a little bit about structure. And now we're going to talk about creating a powerful team environment. Okay, so type in the chat, why team and why environment? Accountability, being set up to win. Team equals support. Yes, energy. Yes, team gives you energy too. Without support, you will fail. Accountability, alignment. Yes, 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 and yes. So a couple of things I want to say about environment and team. So first of all, when it comes to team and environment, I just read in this really cool book. There's a book I want to recommend if you want to learn more about this sort of thing. It's called, let me just find the title here. Willpower Doesn't Work. There's a book called Willpower Doesn't Work by Benjamin Hardy. And basically the idea is we have very limited amounts of willpower, okay? And we use it up very quickly, okay? And so one of the things I've noticed is the biggest mistake that business owners that I've coached make when it comes to willpower is only using their own. Okay, so another way of putting it is you want to leverage the willpower of other people. Okay, if you're only using or you're mostly using your willpower in your business, you've probably noticed it runs out pretty fast, right? And you run out of energy and you run out of productivity pretty fast. Okay, and so the secret here is to leverage or utilize the willpower of other people. And by the way, that may sound like you're taking advantage of other people, but they get to leverage your willpower in return, okay? So you're collectively sharing willpower in the same way that we're all learning and studying this together, right? Just on this call, we're all sharing the willpower and energy of everybody just to be on this call and to learn this material together, okay? So if nothing else in this section on team and environment, you want to leverage the willpower of other people, right? Because otherwise you just run out of your own so fast, okay? So let's talk a little bit about that. The other reason why I'm talking about environment as well is environment is one of the biggest, if not the biggest means for you as a person to change, okay? How do we change as people? Through new information, through new experiences and new relationships, right? And those things tend to come through our environment, okay? So if you want to change things up in your business, new information, new relationships, new experiences, right? So that's how I define environment, right? It's the information and the relationships and the experiences that you're tapping into to give you energy, to give you motivation, to help you move forward. I would also include your physical environment as well, your home office space, wherever you're working, okay? So you change when you change your environment. The fastest way to create change is to change your environment, okay? Clients will often ask me, you know, what's the fastest way I can make progress in my business? And I'll often say, change your environment. Because when I talk to my clients, it's usually that they don't know what to do, right? They often know what to do. They just aren't able to bring themselves to do what they need to do. So oftentimes the first recommendation I'll give people is put yourself in a team structure, right? So you have the support to doing the things you already know how to do. By the way, have you noticed in this training so far and in the 3 elements, none of the pieces were go learn a whole bunch more stuff. That's usually not the thing that, I mean, some amount of it, yes, is necessary, but it's usually not the key driver to being more productive. It's your energy, it's your structure, and then your environment, okay? It's being able to put into play the information you already have. Raise your hand if you truly feel like it's the lack of information that's the #1 thing holding your business back right now. There's just something you don't know that you need to know, and if you knew that, your business could rocket forward. Raise your hand or put in the chat, yes, it's the information, if that's the #1 thing holding you back in your business right now, just not having the right information. Yeah, so I'm not really seeing much here. So yeah, Honor Bob, ha 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 ha. Exactly, right? So I'm saving the best for last here, okay? Someone did write, it often does seem like I'm not sure what to do. I can guarantee you if you started generating the right energy, you got in the right structure, and you had the right team environment, then not knowing what to do would disappear. Especially adding the team environment piece, okay? So let's talk a little bit about the team environment. I'm going to share my screen here as well. Hang on a second. And just making a tweak here. Okay. So some powerful aspects of a powerful team environment here. So here's the headline for having a powerful team environment. You want to have multiple forms of accountability and feedback, okay? Multiple forms of accountability and feedback. Now, definitely you want to have at least one, but if you want to optimize your team environment, you want to have multiple forms of accountability and feedback, okay? Let me just start with that one. So I wrote down here, these are some of the aspects of your team design. I wrote having at least one coach. So some people are probably thinking like, what do you even mean by that? So for the last, I want to say at least 8 years, I have always had more than one coach at any given time. I've often had a business coach and then either like a health coach or someone who's coaching me on my inner game or my inner healing. And so at any given moment, I've usually had 2 or more coaches. At the Big Shift, I also had a leadership coach. And so our leadership team was working with a leadership coach, okay? And so, you know, if you're someone who's ambitious and there's a lot you want to accomplish in the world, then you definitely want to have at least, you know, one coach. I was talking to Elena, who's on the line with us here, about how Elena, who's on the line, is a sports psychologist, and how it's just a given these days. If you are an Olympic athlete, you have a sports psychologist. You have a coach working with you on your psychology, as well as a coach working with you on your sport, right? It's just a given. You're not even in the game to become someone who could qualify for the Olympics if you don't have a sports psychologist and a nutritionist and an athletic coach on your team. Like, don't even think about even aspiring to that level of performance, right? I'm sure you know in pro sports, everyone from LeBron James on down has a team of coaches on their team, right? And so I had the same when I was running a multi-million-dollar business. It's just the further you go, just the more support you need, not less, actually, okay? So I always recommend having at least one coach on your team, if not coaches for different things, okay? By the way, I hear a little sound in the background, so if you're not muted, if you can mute, that'd be really great. Thank you. I also recommend having an accountability team or an accountability partner, okay? And by the way, I'm noticing we're 4 minutes to the end of this call, so I want to see if you guys can stay on a little longer, another 15 minutes. If you can't, that's totally fine. Great having you here. You can stay on for another 15. We'll wrap it up 15 minutes after the hour. And then if you haven't already sent me your email address, if you'd like to receive the slides and some other materials to support your productivity system, go ahead and put in the chat. You can either just send it privately to me or to the group, just your email address, and I'll make sure to get you the slides, the recording, and some other support materials, okay? So let's talk about accountability team or accountability partner. Now, when I was coaching clients at one of our programs called the All-Stars program, I required that every single person in the group have an accountability partner that they were meeting with every single week, okay? So for those of you who are saying, yeah, I'd like to have more structure, or I'd like to have a productivity and action system, but I have a hard time sticking with it, having an accountability partner or team or having a coach is the solution, okay? Having another person who's checking with you to make sure that you're sticking with your structure and you're sticking with your action steps, okay? I have found over the years, because literally I've had hundreds of clients who had accountability partners and then hundreds of clients who did not. There was such a dramatic difference between people who had accountability partners and people who didn't, right? It's no different from when you've worked for a company. If you work in a team environment at a company, it is really hard to be super unproductive if you work at a team at a company, right? Because within a few days, your manager or other people you work with are going to be saying, hey, where's this? Hey, where's this deliverable? Hey, where's the result of this task, right? There's only so far you can go with being unproductive in a team structure at a company before you have to have like a talk with your manager, right? Or a serious talk with your teammates, right? Like how long can you go on being unproductive in that structure? Maybe a week or two, right? Before like accountability is just going to be, on your office doorstep, right? But when we're self-employed or, solopreneurs, when we don't have that accountability, we can go months and not be doing the things that are the most important in our business, right? Or even years, okay? So in this section, team environment, having somebody in your corner, whether it's an accountability partner or team or having a coach, but someone who's checking in with you is the game changer, okay? Now, one more little qualifier on that though, is you need to pick the right people, whether it's your accountability partners or team or your coach. You want to pick people who are as or more committed to success than you are or as you are, okay? Here's what I've seen all the time is I've seen people be in accountability groups where everybody is willing to like kind of turn a blind eye and not really check on how everybody's doing. Everybody gets really complacent and cozy. I'm not going to ask you any hard questions if you don't ask me any hard questions, right? So for example, I have seen so many business owners in mastermind groups with people not making very much money, okay? Where everybody in the group, by and large, is really not being that productive and really not taking the necessary actions to move their business forward. And the accountability is fairly low, right? So if you're in that sort of group, you're not with people who are more committed to success than you. You're with people who are committed to the same level of success you have right now. And if the success isn't what you want, you have people who are energetically keeping you where you are right now. And I've just heard about this countless times from people who are in a mastermind group, where they say, I like the people, we have great conversations, but it's not moving me forward. In fact, one of the things I hear all the time from my clients is, I feel like I'm the most ambitious person in my mastermind. I'm the leader of my mastermind, but I'm not getting anything out of the group. Raise your hand if you've been the leader of a mastermind group and you feel like that group's not moving you forward. Just knowing some of the people on this call, I would not be surprised if that's common on this call. So if you're going to choose an accountability partner or a team, choose someone who is going to kick your butt. Don't choose a nice person. Okay? You guys with me on that? Don't choose someone where it's like, oh, it's going to be so warm and fuzzy together. I really like that person. We're going to vibe so well together. I mean, it's okay if that's part of it, but don't let that be the main thing. Here's the #1 criterion I look for in choosing an accountability partner. I am feeling nervous when I'm thinking about that person being my accountability partner. Like, oh shit, that person is going to be holding my feet to the fire. Now, some of you know who my, accountability partner is. I've had the same accountability partner for 10 years, Mr. Bill Barron, right? We still meet every week. We have met every week. It's probably been 8 to 10 years, okay? You don't show up for a call with Bill, not without your plan in place and not having taken some action, and vice versa. I hold Bill in the same space, right? So choose somebody where you're thinking, holy shit, when you're thinking about having that person be your accountability partner. And if you're thinking like, oh, that person is going to be like a cream puff, wrong person. Okay, what are you getting just from this whole piece so far on your team structure? I'd love to hear your feedback in the chat. What are you taking away so far? And feel free to write in your journals as well. What are you taking away from the discussion so far? I need support. Get it done. Get what done, Jasmine? What's your level of accountability right now from 1 to 10? 10 being like locked in accountability, bulletproof. The accountability is so strong. You're just taking the action you want every single week. And 0 is just like you're floating in the wind. There's no accountability. All right, we got some 10s. Need an accountability partner? What's a good structure for an accountability call? Does that matter? It matters a lot. Yes. Stop floating. Start with the most important thing. A 4, thank you for being honest. Way off track. Yes. I'll send you guys a structure for an accountability call as well. It makes a huge difference, okay? The main component of an accountability call with a partner is this. You have to track what you're committing to for the next week. Ideally, it's a Google Doc, right, where it's just a running list. But when you get on the call with your accountability partner, you're writing, and it has to be written, you're writing down what your commitments are for the next week. Okay? And then the next week, you're checking with each other, did you do what you said you were going to do last week? That is the core. You can have other things as well, but the core is making commitments to actions and then checking back in a week, did you do them? Okay, another useful element is where are you stuck? So for your accountability partner to see if you're not taking the actions you're committed to, for your accountability partner to check in, where are you stuck? Where do you need support? So you can be in the kind of action you want to be in, okay? I would say those are 2 of the biggest things you want to have. So inside your accountability structure, a kick-ass partner, and then a structure that works for the call that includes tracking, okay? I also like to have some sort of timeline with my accountability, right? So by and large, here's what I want to be accomplishing 90 days from now, a year from now. I want that to be inside the accountability structure. So someone's holding space, not just for the task for the week, but the bigger picture as well, right? So your partner can be saying, hey, this is what you said you wanted to be creating in the next 90 days, in the next 12 months. I don't really see your actions lining up with that. Now, having a partner who points that out is worth its weight in gold. Especially if you're working on your own, it's so easy to drift from what it is that you're wanting in terms of your goals and your vision. Okay, so everybody, we are going to wrap up now. I'm going to share my screen here. So in the wrap up here, I would love for you to answer these questions. So just to conclude our call, what is your big why for staying productive, focused, and in flow? Just reconnect with that again, jot that down. And then what's your biggest takeaway? And I might even say, what are your 3 biggest takeaways? Ideally, it's going to be the 3 takeaways you're going to be implementing in the next week. Okay? And then if you have any feedback or any questions about any of this, feel free to shoot me an email. There's my email address right there. Okay. And then I'd love to hear some of your takeaways in the chat. And it'd be interesting to see what your peers and colleagues are typing in the chat too. So go ahead and type one of your biggest takeaways in the chat. Another thing I'd like for you to note, and you could put that in your journal and in your chat as well, is which of the 3 areas do you think is going to be the biggest game changer for you? Is it raising your energy? Is it having structure? Or is it the team environment of support? Which of those 3 do you think will have the highest impact or the highest leverage for you? And go ahead and type that in the chat too. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Right on above, morning routine, accountability weekly, 1 year, 90-day and weekly goals. All right. Good stuff, everybody. So I'd like to just make a decision from the place I want to be and not the place I am. Love that, Simona. Yes, and I know, Simona, you're evolving on a daily basis. So just for you to even keep up with who you're evolving into is going to be a fun project. Okay. All right, everybody. I would like to end this call with some celebrations. So I'm going to unmute everybody and let's just go ahead and express some gratitude for everybody coming onto this call and creating energy and creating this experience. So let's just go ahead and make some sound. If you're not unmuted, go ahead and share some gratitude or some thank yous or some noise.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you. That was great,
Whoop, whoop.
Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Really lovely. I feel uplifted.
Aloha, Patrick. Thank you.
Greetings, one and nine.
Thank you for raising energy.
All right.
Great
Aloha,
call.
everybody. And just thank you for making this an awesome day, an awesome experience for me. And I look forward to staying connected and hearing from you. And I'd love for you to also, when you take an action, either send me an email or send me a direct message on Facebook or send me, you put a post.
Can you repeat that, Patrick?